Hey beauties, morning to you. Listen now, beautiful people. I was speaking with men, some men this morning. I generally do, some older men, fairly young, um, age in terms of, the age range is somewhat wide. Let me put it that way. But not people who are old, like in their 60s and 70s, ranging from 20s to 50s. And they were saying something to me that when they're younger as men, it doesn't matter what stress they're undergoing, unless the stress is overwhelming and the body probably just physically shuts down because it really cannot hold it. When you have physical pain, your body is designed to take physical pain to a certain threshold. If it goes above that, it shuts down. I remember Pastor was talking, giving his testimony when he had gallstone back in the day, elderly man. And, not knowing that, I think he was saying some B vitamins can crush it and get rid of it out of your system. And the pain was so great that when it went too far, because he didn't want to be medicated too often, he passed out, literally passed out. And with that reality, outside of that, the men were saying to me, as they get older in life, perhaps in their 30s, 40s, 50s and older, when the stress levels becomes too high, maybe stressing over a woman, stressing over light bill, water bill, some sort of bill, some sort of debt, something that they have to pay, liability, it can affect the libido, and somehow create some sort of dysfunctionality. That is why, they probably dub it as erectile dysfunction in the body. So sometimes women may wonder, oh my God, I wonder if the man is not attracted to me. I wonder if he has gone the other way. None of the above. He can be very much attractive, but when, he was saying he was a young police officer back in the day, he's in banking now, and he said, you remember when a sergeant of police came to him and said, boy, let me tell you something. He was sharing his personal story that he was, a sort of in a lovemaking setting with a woman, and then all of a sudden the bills start to plague his mind, the light bill, water, you name the different bills, and his penis would not stand to attention. He could not get an erection with the penis, no matter what he did, and it had to do with stress levels. Another man was sharing with me that he has a friend, he doesn't know what had happened, but I suppose in the mornings they were saying it is healthy and it is important that the man penis gets up. It has nothing to do with it's necessarily sex he wants to have, but it talks about the functionality of the body. So when his penis every morning was just dead, like a dead log, like a sausage that was just, withered, and it would not move. It had nothing to do with his sexuality, had nothing to do with his woman, none of the above. It was a mental / physical defect. And he went to, I think it was a chiropractor, and he went, and the chiropractor gave him something for a week. And he said from that week, it's like his life was restored to him, because that's the life of a man. If that thing is not working, whether you're gay or straight, it's as though your life is snuffed out of you, and he was back to normality. So women, I'm saying that for you to understand, because sometimes we don't. It is good when you educate yourselves, read upon it. The stress is a serious killer. It may not kill you literally, but it can kill a lot of people's dreams, and it kills you. It creates some problems and defects physically, even us as women, when you're stressed out because you can't pay your bills, so to speak, or not necessarily even pay your bills. You may pay your bills, but you can't live above paying bills. Like you may want to go on a vacation, you may want to go on a cruise, you may want to buy some things, some of your wants, because we always talk about our needs. But when the Bible talks about God gives, above that you can ask or imagine, that tells the story that God grants above your needs. He grants some of our wants, not all of our wants, but he grants some of our wants that will make us, when you tell you, say you're beyond blush, you're so ecstatic, excited, and when you find that your wants are also not granted, it creates some sort of hole and depression. People become despondent sometimes, unfortunately, because of years of battering on the what should I say, the organs and your hormone levels. Your pH balance is off. You find that people are clinically depressed where they have to be medicated. Some of them are clinically depressed and they don't even know that. And they wonder why we're seeing a lot of, social ills in our country. I was flabbergasted when, and this is not the only problem, I'm just talking about stress levels. When somebody said to me 200 odd gangs are in Jamaica, you know, 7 in West Kingston, they began to name some of them and whatnot. And I said to myself, sometimes some of these so-called gangs possibly is formed because one, lack of a good father figure in the home, lack of proper parenting, lack of good nutrition, and the stress levels are high. And people will do it when we get to that breaking point. You will do anything to feel some semblance of acceptance and love, and to feel like your body is operating at normalcy, at normal frequency. That's how we are as humans. You can't unhuman yourself. You can't take away your human from you. We are humans. And that is why sometimes people will say shopping for women especially becomes therapeutic. They will shop outside of their own means. So sometimes when you see people spend badly, it's not necessarily because they lack financial literacy. It is also because their stress levels become high, and based on their personality type, maybe that is a soother for them. Because our body will chip out when the pain and the stress becomes too great. It affects the men's libido. Where you wonder, sometimes it's not no aged man. It can be a man in his 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s and so on. Well, they might think that because when you're in your 60s, you're old and mashed down. Stay there. I heard they were showing this man who was in his 70s had gotten somebody pregnant. If it's about your lifestyle, you live a so-called stress-free lifestyle and eat healthy, be kind and sweet to people, nice and whatnot, and you pray to your God, not a God, the God. Jehovah God we're talking about. What you think will happen? They probably have the 80-year-old man firing like somebody in his 40s or 30s. You'll be surprised, when that blessing and favor of God is upon your life. So ladies, men, what you have to do, let me tell you something. You have to pray. You have to fast. You have to trust God. You have to eat right. Exercise. Treat people well. Just decide that, God, I'm going to cast all my burdens on you. Because that is a sad situation. I promulgate marriage between a man and a woman, husband and a wife. So you're in there, you're ready now to make love to your wife, and all of a sudden a light bill, water bill, cable bill, internet bill, this loan, that debt, whatnot, mortgage, school picnic situation come across your mind and just kills you. You have to say, no, because I'm going to live this life to the full. And this organ is going to be fully functional. I'm going to satisfy my wife and I'm going to satisfy myself. The both of us are going to enjoy this thing. So if I have to go put my mind under subjection and not make no bill come, for the moment create that atmosphere, that romantic atmosphere. Whatever you have to use, music, something, say a prayer, you block that thing out, And when the two join in that unity, God may just inspire both of you of how to come out of your situation so that you can live a financially free life. And so on, so that it doesn't affect your performance in bed as men. But women, it has nothing to do with necessarily their sexuality when you see that happen. Maybe that could be a case when, the man pretends to be one thing when he knows he's not. And yes, that can be a case. But that is not in the majority. It's just that probably men are afraid to say, okay, I'm really stressed out over our situation. Men are different from us as women. Women, we will speak our mind, we'll talk what's happening to us. And men not necessarily like that because I guess it makes him feel less than a man. But men, you need to break that foolishness out. It's called communication. Say, honey, this is affecting me. I'm really worried about our bills and it's affecting how. It's not that I don't want you physically. It's not that, I have a physical defect. My mental is affecting my physical in a sense. But I know that I can, if I deal with it the right way and operate the right way by, sort of putting in place the right methodology, following that step, then I know that I can be fine. I will be well. All right, ladies, we can try and help to make it easier for the men, not to overstress them. I remember reading in the book of I'm in Ecclesiastes. I'm taking my time reading Ecclesiastes. I deliberately sometimes read something else because it's a very powerful book. Keeps you, in touch with reality. And 3 different chapters, almost back to back, spoke about how nagging wife is like a dripping pipe. The man rather to be on a rooftop, and that's serious women. So sometimes we add to it. And men, in 1 Peter 3:7, he said, husbands, don't embitter your wives, don't be harsh and rough, lest your prayers go unanswered. It goes hindered. Word to the wise is sufficient unto the day. Guys, follow me on TikTok, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please share this message.